Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of my building the best build in The Witcher 3. It's been a little while since I've done one, so I apologise for that, but let's just jump straight into it. So I'm now level 11 instead of level 3, so obviously I've got quite a bit further, and my build is as follows on screen. Now I'll go a bit more into detail about each one of these and why I've picked them. And I'll also go over the ones that I've unlocked but I don't use anymore as well. So you don't have to go and see part 1 again to be able to catch up. It's just, this supersedes what the previous one was. So I guess the first place to start is in combat. I'll just go along the line. We've got Muscle Memory 1. In fact, sorry, I'm going to start somewhere else. As you guys can see, I've still got 5 points available. These are the points that I hold for like emergency things. If I die to anything, I will dip into these 5 points to be able to counteract whatever just killed me. Anything over 5 points, I then put into what I will dub as luxury skills, which are ones that I think will either help me in combat, help me in dialogues, just help me in general, or will just flat increase my damage, I think, anyway. So, getting that out of the way so we get rid of why that's there. First skill we're going to look at is Muscle Memory. This is actually the last skill I've taken. I took this at level 11, and what it's just going to do, it's one of my luxury skills. It's going to just increase our damage by 5% on fast attacks. I use fast attacks quite a lot, so that's just nice in general. I suppose another point I should show a look at is we currently have an empty slot. This is mainly because I have a rule that every 5 levels, I drop all my defensive skills. This is because just by playing the game, I might have got better, and that defensive skill might not be needed anymore. So currently, I haven't actually found a 6th skill to slot in there. It might come back to one of my defensive skills. I might end up using it on another luxury skill in the future. Who knows? Okay, next one, arrow deflection. This was actually one of the first skill that I took in the game. As I said in part 1, I rocked up on a bandit camp, got shot by a billion arrows, and just went, right, okay, I need to counteract that. So arrow deflection, we don't use that anymore. I dropped that at level 5, and I've not needed it since. So that hasn't come in since then. Moving on to signs, we'll go for the ones that affect Quen to start with. So I took Exploding Shields, I think level 6-ish. I maxed that out straight away. The main reason I did this was I was getting killed by groups that were surrounding me quite regularly. And the knockdown and the knockback and the damage, which pushes opponents back and stuff like that, that just seemed like a really good way to clear out a lot of the sort of things that were surrounding me. It worked relatively well until about level 9, where I moved on. I still got killed in a similar situation, so I increased that to active shield, which I thought just meant I'm going to be able to, if I'm really struggling with health and I'm getting really surrounded, just hold down active shield, gain some vitality back, and there we go. Obviously, being level 9, as soon as I hit level 10, I've dropped both of these. I've not needed them yet getting to level 11, but I'm sort of keeping an eye on it in case I need to go that way. Next, we're looking at Delusion Max Out Points there. I had that in episode 1. I just mainly like it for the dialogue. And actually, because I've had it, I've actually started changing how I do combat. I didn't usually use Axii that much in previous playthroughs that I've done, but this time round I am stunning everything, getting sort of instant kills on things that probably would cause me a lot of problems, which has been really nice. And then to go on top of that, because I've enjoyed using it so much, I then took as a luxury skill Puppet. This was maybe about level 7-ish, along those lines. And this has helped me massively. So Puppet basically allows you to take control of one person on one of the enemies that will fight on your side, and also doesn't attack you back. It doesn't break the puppet if you attack them. So it's actually kind of a really nice long stun, especially against monsters that don't I haven't got an instant kill on unless I knock them down. So I always use Puppet even against a single target just to have like free damage on them. Interestingly, I don't know if this is a bug or not, but I found when I cast Puppet on a bandit that was riding a horse, it would just wait a couple of seconds and instantly die. I don't know if that's a bug. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, that's something that I found out. Alchemy, not taking anything in that right now. It's something that I'm looking at. We are using a few decoctions now, but it's very sort of a limited part of my gameplay, so I'm not too sure. It might be if I've not hit a certain level yet, so I think it's level 18 to unlock the next level of signs, which seem to heavily feature in my playstyle at the moment. I might look at alchemy just to buff up some of the decoctions that I'm using, but we've not got anything there yet. Next, we are looking at focus. This was mainly just there to fill a luxury slot, increasing adrenaline points, both damage and weapon damage and sign intensity. I just thought that this was useful. You know, I tend to max out my focus pretty quickly at the moment. So a bit of extra damage and more sign intensity. It seemed more useful to me to go down that route than going into muscle memory immediately, because this affected both signs and weapon damage. But obviously now we're working on muscle memory, so we'll see how that goes. And then finally, and this is probably one of the most overpowered skills that I have, Gourmet, which basically, instead of like the couple of seconds vitality regen you get from food, you get 20 minutes of it, which is insane. It not only for the actual health, but just for food economy. I have so much food stacked up now that I don't think I'll ever run out. It just seems like that's how it feels right now. Maybe that will change later on, but we'll see. I took this at level 4 mainly because I noticed I was mainly dying because I just wasn't watching my health bar. So this having like the passive regen on there just felt really nice. Past that, I think that's about where we're up to at the moment. I'm not going to look at armor and swords yet. This is more or less, I just put the thing that's got the most damage on and whatever glyph or whatever rune, stone, whatever they're called, in there that I can. Maybe if we get to an episode where I haven't maybe increased any levels or the build hasn't changed at all, we might look at what weapons and armor I'm using at that point. But for the moment, I think that's I've kept you for long enough. So yeah, hopefully it was useful for some people, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.